Well, you're talking about humility there, and so which is hard because you have this position of power or whatever, you know. It's a position of prestige, let's say, in the community or something, and so you may taking over. You might want to pretend like you know everything, and what you're saying is that's probably a bad idea.
That's a horrible idea.
Okay.
Like, just no egos allowed. Don't come in with an ego.
But still be confident.
Confident?
You be confident and not have an ego.
But humble. And so that's this fine line that I try to walk. And I think that...
You're horrible at... No, I'm kidding.
Arts and Adventure Summit's the airwaves. This is the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. I'm R. Brandon Long, along with...
Todd Oberndorfer.
The greatest podcast in all the land. We are your hosts for the greatest...
We can say it again.
I mean...
It is pretty great.
This week's guest, Venessa Castagnoli. We have... Did I say it right?
You did.
Close enough.
Little Red Corvette is my favorite.
So this is good to know that Little Red Corvette is, you've taught him well.
Thanks.
Is his favorite song until a minute ago when it was raining. When did Raining Tacos become the standing favorite? Or was it something else?
Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie.
Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie. We can do the Prince song after the podcast because Prince doesn't like us to play it during the podcast. His people call us, you know. That's sort of how
put a pause on the show.
They put a pause on the show. Yeah, that's kind of how that works.
Well, we can listen to it later.
So, Ogden Contemporary Arts, OCA, as it's affectionately known around these parts, is sort of where is your home base. It's what you do on the daily, Venessa.
It is.
What does a typical day look like for you?
It's not that glamorous, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
It's a whole lot of...
Lie to us.
You could leave right now.
It's amazing. It's a party every day. We drink wine and eat charcuterie in the morning. And
you talk to artists and you go to Paris.
I wish. I do talk to a lot of artists. You know, it's great. Like, it's very rewarding. There's a lot of hard work.
Oh, these are the requests. Yeah, it's a really good request.
He likes to...
No, he'll get it out.
12 o'clock I will leave.
At 12 o'clock you'll leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, we got time.
We do got time.
It's 2 minutes to 12, so we're right almost there. My clock does not lie.
You know, running a nonprofit, it's challenging, but rewarding at the same time.
So remind us when you started.
Yeah.
March of 2020.
March of 2020. So let me think back to March of 2020.
Most of us wiped it from our memories.
Globally
I
happened.
Think. Yeah.
So I was still working at Weber State, and I have on my desk, I have it at my new desk as well. And so one of our trips that we took out to California went to Legoland, and in one of the gift shops at Legoland, they had this Lego clock. No, not a clock, calendar. This Lego calendar that's got these cubes, number cubes. You change out the numbers. It's really cute. And so
you bought one?
So I bought one when we were there.
Really?
Yeah. So it's
sweet.
And then so it's got the cubes that you change the date to, and then between the month and the day is one of those little mini figures of this little businessman with a briefcase, right? And so it's got a perfect office calendar. But anyway, for 2+ years, it was locked at like March 2022, and it was March, I can't remember which day it was.
2022 or 2020?
2020, sorry.
2020.
And so that was the last day I was in the office, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But then I left that at the office, and I worked from home for like a year and a half or whatever it was, it felt like.
Wild.
But I'll always remember March 2020 because that Lego calendar was locked on that date. And that's right when you started a new job.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, you start a job, pandemic hits, and I'm supposed to program and, you know, hold events and all these things. And, and I couldn't do any of those.
See, that's his commentary as well. You got a little co-host over there.
I know.
Ow.
Ouch.
Yeah, it hurts
Ouch.
when you're trying to do that.
And so what kind of team did you have day one?
Myself.
It was you.
Just me.
And so when you're putting everything together, you were drawing upon what knowledge of nonprofits?
None.
See, I love this story. This is a great story.
None. Never worked at a nonprofit. Never thought I would work at a nonprofit.
Well, okay, so how did you get the job? Not to be rude, you applied for it.
They really screwed up, didn't they?
It's too late now. They're not doing anything with you.
You will put it all the way up so that you can
Yeah.
hear it
I'll try that.
Everyone of them.
Yep. So I can hear everyone better now. And so I came from, one, I had an art degree at Weber State. I had an art degree from Weber State. I was running my own, right out of school, I was running my own, underground grassroots studio space along with a few of other recent graduates. So I had a little bit of art stuff under my belt. I also worked in marketing and events for a company called Tensile at the time. And then
Local outdoorsy brand here in Ogden was?
Originally for Britain. They're a British company, but they had their U.S. headquarters here.
Got it.
I also did a bunch of logistics over at Armor Sports. So I had that going as well. So I kind of had a little bit of everything. I had art. I was an artist myself. So I experienced what it was to be on the other side of that. I had the logistics. I had the marketing. I had the events. So I kind of just...
And you knew at that point how sexy the administrative side of nonprofit work is.
No, I didn't, but I found out.
You find out really quick, though, huh? Behind the scenes work.
Behind the scenes work?
It's a lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And reporting to the board. So the nonprofit had been in effect. So the board had been in effect before you came on. Mm-hmm. And so what did you step into? Was it sort of rounded out okay at that point?
No, it was very much startup mode. So very little budget. They had a part-time executive director in the past. They didn't have that person in place then. And then... no physical location, very, very, very small budget, and a lot of weeds, mulch, and fence posts.
So
that's what
location,
Monarch,
location, your first thing that you tried to do? What was the first?
Rebrand. It was Ogden first. It's not a bank. It's an art organization.
Sure.
So we did a full rebrand of Ogden Contemporary Arts, fundraised, designed the space.
Oh, look at that food he brought. These are his treats?
Yeah.
What do you call that?
It's some...
Is that a cookie?
Little Caesar cookie brownie thing. Don't eat that in here. Go out there and eat that because that is messy.
That's going to calm this kid down so fast.
Oh yeah. For the moment.
No, that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That sugar kicks in. It's a whole new kid, a whole new Milo.
Yep.
And so you were truly at the, it's so fun to start at that base level, right? And so where you were coming in with the rebrand, okay, maybe it didn't feel like fun, but it is a good place to really put some things into action.
It was fun. I enjoyed that portion of it. And if anything was good about the pandemic, it gave us the opportunity to step back and take the time to look at a rebrand in the organization, to fundraise for our build out.
Yeah, you didn't have to do events because
and to design it. So we fully took advantage I mean myself and the board, because the board were certainly very helpful. We took advantage of that downtime and made the best out of it. Opened our doors after fundraising and building the space. Opened our doors in November of 2020.
Wow! And
So
what was the situation as far as allowing people in at that point?
We were super strict. In fact, we pretty much only stayed open. So we collaborated with Modern West to come in and curate a show.
Which was a great idea, by the way.
Yeah, and we had high hopes of having a great opening, but with the holidays and everything else, we're like, no one feels comfortable doing an opening. We're not going to do an in-person thing. In fact, we're just going to shut our doors for another month throughout all this holiday season and COVID, because no one wants to catch COVID. And then we opened it up again in January, and then we had that show for another month, and then we went into our grand opening show, which was Lauren Lee McCarthy from LA,
which was a great show.
It was a great show.
And so you're starting to feel
was that
the
show
space.
that we got in trouble with? We breaking the law.
Broke the law.
Now that was the visiting artist that we had. You mean the paper sculpture?
The paper sculpture, yeah.
Oh no, that was Wade Kavanaugh.
Okay, Wade, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was pre me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pre.
But we chatted with him.
Okay,
for a
we
bit.
did chat. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the fire marshal liked it, didn't like it, or maybe he didn't know about it and then he didn't like it. But
Yeah.
regardless, we
That's
got some
right.
good pictures of it.
I heard-
Sometimes that's what art is.
I heard like after it was all installed, they had to like go and like change certain areas of it.
Oh, you hack down huge chunks
Yeah,
of it, and
I know.
yeah.
That's a bummer.
But it is the
Safety.
nature of ephemeral art. Sometimes
Safety is important.
Safety is important.
Sometimes
And
you
just
don't know.
the moment. Sometimes you just the experience, because there was a bunch of volunteers helping with that. I remember, and just being involved with that was significant. And then maybe it was just a day or two of enjoying it as it was. But sometimes the art is only available for a day or two. So I enjoyed that whole process. I thought it was great.
More ephemeral than
Beautiful piece.
ephemeral.
More very ephemeral.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so you're shaping out that space. And so I noticed that you even just installed an elevator.
Yeah, a wheelchair lift.
She did it all by herself too. It
I'm
was
sorry.
impressive.
You're calling it a
felt like
wheelchair
it.
lift. Yeah, no, that's
Well, yeah, it's technically a wheelchair lift. It's it's only for those that need it.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we also had Roots Art Collective come in and actually paint the inside of it, which is kind of cool. It's officially going to be able to be used, hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, on Friday when the state inspector comes and looks at it.
Nice.
Yeah, no, man, I tell you what, I'm building my skill sets. I'm a contractor.
Don't tell
I'm
me.
an executive director. I'm a painter. I'm a wall mutter. I'm a
You're a mom.
curator. I'm a mom. I'm a yeah, all the things.
So you're starting to describe an executive director. Yeah. No.
Mommy,
Yes,
when
Milo.
I close stores, I hear better when I close doors.
You hear better when you close.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone does.
Did someone play some video games at the last show?
Yeah, he tried.
Yeah. Who won? Did you get? Was there a winner?
There was a winner. We had a contest with the Space Invaders game. I can't recall who.
Well, I
won
think
that.
it was a great community event.
Yeah.
Like, how fun was that?
Yeah. A lot.
They
of
get a
people were
T-shirt
really
or
excited.
something, or
We got a T-shirt. Yeah, Oka membership, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. So who you showing right now?
Oh, we are showing Holly Wong, which is an artist out of San Francisco, as well as Stephanie Leach, an artist down in Salt Lake. Do you want to watch Mary Poppins? Yeah,
Yeah.
and not the new one, the old one. He likes it old
Okay, I think I
school.
nailed that.
Yeah.
Like, how far ahead are you planning for your shows right now?
Oh gosh,
Are you a year out?
I'm about right
than that?
now about a year and a half, 2 years, somewhere
Nice.
around there. Yeah, you know, I try to be 2 years in advance. It's tough, but I try to do. I mean, to actually get the caliber of artists that we want to get, you need to get on their calendars. It's really important, and just for my sanity, it's important.
Oh, 100%. Even just the small space, the Finch Gallery that I run in Salt Lake, I'm a year and a half about, something like that.
Yeah, it's
And that feels like it's still completely stacked. Like there's no
oh yeah.
there's no real break between that at all.
No, there's not.
And so, how long do your shows run? And do they sort of differ?
So our shows, we do a new show every 3 months. So we're on a quarterly schedule, and one of those shows is always going to be an artist in resident.
So who's next?
Next artist in resident.
Yeah.
We're
Can you say it?
We're in the selection process now.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't tell you, but we are in the process of inviting artists to apply, and
So have you narrowed down, or you're like earlier than that? Like
we have a selection committee, and they've been sending out invites. We have a couple people that have submitted so far. By the end of this week, I imagine we'll have 15 to 20 applicants that we'll get through.
email me. I'll at least be on the wall, like a fly on the wall.
Okay.
Of that selection committee.
Yeah,
I'd love
you're
to.
you're welcome to join.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email.
I think that is probably one of the coolest programs you have.
I think so too. That and the Artist Factory.
And the Artist Factory. Okay, then let's go a little deeper into both of those.
Okay.
And so, how many artists in residence have you had so far at Oka?
2. Yael LaFord and Eric Garcia.
Okay. And so we were lucky enough to get to know both of them. You're working out the next. And so 1 a year, 2 a year? What's the goal? What is ultimately the goal for you?
Honestly, 1 a year right now is plenty.
Yeah, I think so.
I think maybe 5 years from now, 2 a year would be nice.
I want to know when you're, I don't know what you call it, recruiting, when you're reaching out to artists or whatever. When I mean, you had a brand change, a name change. And so how was it pitching when you first, and because they go to look stuff up, what was the initial sales pitch? Because, what was there that you could pull from and sort of go from and then say, okay, we're new, like how
it does get easier as you build on the previous.
Right.
Yeah, I think our process of getting these artists, of actually like working with people we know in the art industry, or even like people who are interested in our organization out of state, has been huge. So what we do is we reach out to art professionals, whether it's curators, artists, or or journalists, and we get them involved in the selection process. So I select 4 to 5 selection committee members, and they're all allowed to reach out to their networks of artists to apply for the residency. So, I mean, I think that helps because it's coming from a reliable source, right? For a newer organization. I mean, we've only been around since the end of 2020. So there's that trust. There's also now we have 2 really great artists in residence under our belt that that put on wonderful residency shows and talk very highly of us. So that helps as well.
You set the bar.
We've set the bar. We do all the documentation. I think another thing that works well for our program is that it's family friendly, and there's not enough out there. We pay for childcare. We house the whole family. We pay for travel. The artist gets paid an honorarium at the end of the residency, and we pay for materials. So
She's saying it's family friendly is what she's saying.
That's what she's saying. Yeah,
it's important to be family friendly.
That was feedback we got from the artist, was the family friendly stuff.
Now, is your program evolving? Are you learning from each one?
I'm learning every day about everything we do, whether it's the Artist Factory, Artist in Residence, our exhibitions, all of it. So yes, I am learning as we go. I think I'm pretty happy with where our Artist in Residence program is right now, if I'm being completely honest.
That's amazing that you've gotten to that point after 2.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I just got really lucky with just really wonderful artists. I mean, it's another thing that's really important is when we're selecting these artists, I'm very clear, like they have to come with a community engagement plan. So they're not just locking themselves up in a studio. So already, like that ego just kind of goes away because you need to be there for the community. You know that this is what you came here for. This is what you're getting paid for. This is why we're housing you. This is, so there's that. I think that since we're attracting that type of artists, I think that makes it pretty easy as well.
And remind me the length of the program. How long was Eric out here? Was it?
Eric was out here for 2 months.
2 months.
Mm-hmm. It's a 2-month program, which is a long
time. And
time.
y'all was out here for
2 months.
2 months as well. Mm-hmm. That is an awesome length.
Yeah,
I think that is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a perfect. I mean, one thing I do want to do is I want to make it to where it's a little more family friendly, to where it's over the actual summer months where kids are out of school.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But right now, the way our funding works, the majority of our funding comes from Weber County Ramp. Thank you so much, Weber County Ramp. But that funding, we really don't get notified until May. So it's really hard to organize a residency to come in the summer. So it's always, in the fall or the winter or the spring. So I guess that's the one next step that I need to figure out.
I think that's a good transition. So before we talk about the Artist Factory, let's talk about the fundraising part. It's a fun part of what you do, but
oh my God, yeah, I have nightmares.
I don't want to bore listeners here, but this is not a boring part of what we do. Collectively, we have to raise funds.
You got to make money.
We do have to raise funds.
So what are you doing right? Like, what's happening?
I don't think I'm doing anything right. We need more money. Programming funds, we're doing great. Programming funds are easy to come by. I mean, people will it's sexy to have your name on an exhibition of a nationally recognized artist. It's awesome to have your name next to a artist in residence program or an Artist Factory program, a program geared for the children, right? Those are easy sells. The hard sell is general operation and marketing. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 areas where it's extremely hard to get funding for. And those are areas where for us to do all the great things we want to do with those program funds, we know we need that money. we need it.
So is that staff? I mean, dream staff, because it's not just you anymore, right?
No,
You do have
I
some
have a
help.
program coordinator and a marketing coordinator, and
Mm-hmm.
Mariah and Casey. They're amazing. I'd be lost without them. I do not want to lose them, so I need more money.
So let's talk about how sexy it is that operating, raising
Oh,
that funds.
that those general operations, man. Like
Yeah.
I will put your name all over our space. I'll put it on every single exhibition. I will put it on our wall. I will put it in our windows. I will
Mariah
shout to the world.
She could have a T-shirt that says "Sponsored by."
Yeah,
Dave
we'll
Russell.
start. Oh, that's a great idea. We'll start having our staff wear logos.
Is that?
Little patches. I love
Oh,
that.
it's NASCAR of the arts. Is that what we're doing? Oh,
Oh man, now the ideas are spinning.
yeah. Well, I was just going to ask: could you bring in a corporate sponsor that is the title of the space or something?
Yeah, for the right amount of money, we
Yeah.
could certainly do that. I mean, like the Dumpke Foundation, they're huge. They're all over our space because they gave us the funds to build our space. So obviously their name is all over.
Yeah, we deal with this with our stuff because we like brands that match what we do. And so if you think about, like such and such bank, we know they have money. Is that in line with something that would benefit the arts and or does it?
100%. And
Okay.
we're working. We have a robust corporate sponsorship deck set up. It's just about making those connections, and we're working on it. We're getting better at it. We need to continue to build those relationships because we are a young organization. A lot of those America First Bank, like they're going to these organizations that have been around for a really long time. We haven't built that trust. We haven't built that relationship. So that's really important. Right now we're doing a block party
Yes.
for some
We are,
fundraising, which is
yeah.
really exciting, which you guys are so generously sponsoring as well, to help us out with all of our music.
We're
and
donating
fun
the
stuff.
van.
Yeah, donating the van.
The whole van.
whole van.
The whole van.
Not even like just the engine.
Just during the block party.
No,
Let's
it's
clarify.
mine.
Oh,
It's mine now.
you signed it over.
I
feel like we should talk about these things.
It's mine now.
We probably should talk about these things.
I missed
Don,
one
sorry.
meeting. Like what happened?
That's pretty funny.
There's ways that businesses can help us out there by sponsoring the event. We've got Mountain Luxury came in as a sponsor just yesterday, which
Good.
was huge.
They donated one of their $1 million houses over by
Yeah.
the way.
So they have a van now and a house. They
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, we're good.
Doing so good.
know.
So let's talk about the block party for a second.
Yeah.
Whose idea? Was it a group idea? Was it sort of spitballed, or maybe it was
I
something
don't
you wanted a
remember.
few years ago?
I don't really remember. Maybe it was my idea. Maybe it was board idea. Maybe it was someone's idea. I honestly,
This is like an open house, right?
it's
Like-
an open house. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, it's a team effort all the time. So it's looking at fundraising different. I don't want to do a gala. Galas are boring, guys. Like, no one wants to get dressed up and, pay a bunch of money to eat this, like,
And I'll
super-
put it out there, folks. Sometimes the big gala of the year end up, not that it did for you, but they end up losing money.
Yeah,
By
100%.
the time you put everything into it.
We barely made money at our one.
That's
and only
remarkable
gala.
because mostly it
Yeah,
loses.
it loses, and it's really like a way to give back to your big donors, right? Because
They want a reason to dress up and have some nice stuff.
The reality is, it's like it's hard to get people to come out for it. It's really expensive. It's a lot of work. And so we're going to start looking at fundraising differently. We're going to start doing because we are a community organization, so we're going to do a community event. It's free to the public, so that you don't have to pay to come to this block party. We're going to have a bunch of free artist factory activities, which we'll get into artist factory later, but basically free art activities all day for people to come and participate in and make. Kids, parents, grandparents, it doesn't matter how old you are, you're all welcome to do it. We'll have music thanks to the Banning Collective. And there'll be a beer garden. There'll be a bunch of vendors, food, crafts, all the things.
Do you know the date off the top of your head?
September 9th.
September 9th.
September
Yeah.
9th.
Between hours of what and what?
Noon and 6.
That's a good time.
It's it's the last day of the Summer's Farmers Market. And so Ogden Downtown Alliance is going to help us push people up here after the Farmers Market. And we're shutting down 25th Street and Ogden Avenue.
That's a forget, man. That doesn't happen often. So.
Yeah, I'm stoked. We're going to take over the Dumpke Arts Plaza. Weber State is coming in as a sponsor as well. The Dinosaur Park is coming in as a sponsor.
Are they bringing the dinosaurs this time?
Yeah, they're bringing all the dinosaurs, the ones that are still alive.
I'm going to be disappointed if I don't see a single dinosaur.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you also raise money through a membership.
Yes.
Correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
memberships. It's so important. So, so we have different tiers of memberships. I mean, the baseline membership is only $50, which is a steal, and that's a year. And you get to come to all of our members-only events, which are like private events before First Friday kicks off from 4 to 6. We serve you drinks, food, and you get to mingle with the artists that are in town.
You get that value back almost one
night.
deal. Yeah.
One night you get the
Well, it's
value
one
back.
conversation, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an artist. If you are an artist in town, when I say in town, I mean in Utah, just anywhere within
Northern Utah.
distance, yeah. You need to be paying this, and you need to be going to each one of these, and you need to be meeting all of the movers, all the shakers, all the other artists, because it's during that 2-3 hour block. I guess it's a 2-hour window there, but even just that first hour of the opening too, like I'm able to catch up with everyone. Everyone is there.
Right.
And when I say everyone, it's everyone. I mean, you can, anyway. There's
Oh yeah,
no
we're
excuse.
starting to see a lot of people come up from Salt Lake, which makes me really happy. So I'd like to see more of that. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun event. It's a steal of a deal, and you're supporting Ogden Contemporary Arts by becoming a member.
It's $50 is the base. Can
Yeah.
you have higher
And
levels?
yeah, so individual individual membership is $50 for a white card, which is base level membership, and $75 for a family. And then we go into like silver card and black card, and those are cards where those are memberships where you get like T-shirts or tote bags and coffee mugs and those sort of
But
things.
if you want your charcuterie, it's a good charcuterie.
I pride myself on my charcuterie, guys.
I mean, it's impressive.
Like I do most. So Beehive, I'll be very clear. Beehive is a huge supporter of ours, and they provide a lot of the cheese. Sometimes they are kind enough to even make the boards for us, but the majority of the time I'm making the boards, and yeah, I'm like getting really good at my charcuterie game.
That's fantastic.
And you can get a drink too.
Yeah, wine.
Yeah.
Oh, New World Distillery comes
Yeah.
up, and every first opening, like so a new show opening, they'll come and they'll do a tasting. They mix up awesome cocktails.
Yeah, and you have to go to every opening that's at Oka. And the word is out as somebody who is now working full-time down in Salt Lake and the galleries down there. Everyone's talking about Oka.
Oh,
And when I say everybody, like everybody's talking about what's coming to Oka. Have you seen the current show that's at Oka?
seriously?
Or I was there. Like, you know how there's that becomes a big
Yeah,
part of,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Those conversations is, yeah, I was there. I'm like, I don't remember seeing you. Well, I was there before.
Oh,
But it's actually becoming part of the conversations in the, let's just say the Salt Lake gallery scene. And I think you feel that. You see a lot of these people
I
up here
do.
now,
I
so.
see a lot of people up here from Salt Lake, but it makes me really happy to hear that people are talking about us.
It does. And I'll tell you what, it's taken, some time and some work. Brandon and I, been involved with the Ogden City Arts Advisory, and to open up the borders to, people are coming from outside, and it's not just to Ogden Twilight, but let's be honest, a lot of Salt Lake people are coming up for the Twilight shows. They're also swinging by Oka. And they're also checking out the other gallery spaces here at the Monarch.
Yeah.
And so I think what you're able to do as a destination, what we try to do a little bit with van sessions, is to get some of the bodies here, and then they stick around and they check out all of our spaces
I
here.
know, right? I did hear someone said, and this is totally a rumor, they're like, every time Ogden Contemporary Arts has a new show opening, no one wants to come out here. But I don't think that's true. Like into the Monarch space, right? Like people come out when we have a big opening.
As somebody who just mingles, see, you have to be in your space. Brandon has to be in his space.
I'm in the
mingle
van.
the whole
Yeah.
building, right?
Yeah.
That's not entirely true, because I do see them hit the locations, and it's
Right.
almost like a little checklist. Like they want to make sure. To
Oh,
check
we
this
should
off.
start doing a little passport
That's
to
actually-
encourage people to go to
Yeah.
all
Not a
the
bad
spots.
idea. We get a little fan
Right?
session stamp, and then we can see
Yeah,
who
and
else
we
in
can
the Monarch wants
we
to get
can do
involved.
a drawing. Go ahead and get your car, bud. We can do a drawing where the winner every first Friday that gets to everywhere, gets entered into a drawing to get an OCA membership or something like that to make sure they're hitting all the spots. I think
I'd be down.
cool.
I think
Yeah.
that sounds like a great idea.
Right.
And they could even be so loose as we could do, you got to hit the main spots. We'll sponsor that card. So you got to hit the van sessions, get a stamp from me, get a stamp from you guys, and then maybe 5 gallery spaces
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, I think that would be great.
I think that's a really cool idea.
Look at us
You guys
spitballing
are
here.
working here.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
Right?
With this kind of work,
takes a
this is
village.
you included, Brandon.
Yeah.
You don't. This is not a 9 to 5 thing.
No, it's it's a relationship thing, and that's what I'm sure you're learning. I mean, business is about relationships, and
Oh, yeah.
but running a community arts gallery is all relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
speaking of communities, so we have to talk about the one thing that you light up with the most, and so that's this artist factory, and so
I love it
look at
so
that, and so at the chamber event that we all did not long ago, and you were talking about that, you could just see that your levels just like regardless of what kind of day you're having, if you can brag and talk about this artist factory program, and by brag I mean like it's a hit, like this is a successful program. And so let's talk about how that started.
Yep.
I was fortunate enough to be involved from the beginning. I wish I had time to do it even more so. But I also feel that you have an amazing team of artists.
I do, and that's thanks to Casey Lindley, our program coordinator. I'll be honest. When I applied for this job, and I was going through my through my interviews, I was creating these presentations for each interview because there was multiple of them. And one of the first things that I put on there is like workshops, right, for upcoming artists, professional artists, as well as children, so like it was in my mind from the very beginning that we needed to provide some sort of art workshops. Now, whether that's art business classes for students right out of school that want to make a career as an artist, learn how to build a proposal, learn how to build a budget, and succeed that way, but also for the kids in these after school classes, right? So I had it in my mind. And first thing first was to get our exhibitions going, and then it was to get our artist in residence program going, and then it was time to start on those workshops, which we called the Artist Factory. The first classes were in Youth Impact, and we're still in Youth Impact. We love Youth Impact. If you don't support Youth Impact, you should.
and they're a nonprofit.
They are a nonprofit for at-risk youth.
Have you been over to their facilities?
They're
We
doing,
need to go check that out. It's rad.
and they're doing a event here in the Monarch on September 8th called the Great Gatsby Casino Night. It's always a lot of fun.
The kids love
Yes.
casino night.
Yeah. It's so cute because the kids go around as servers. It's adorable.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so adorable. And they're all so proper. And these kids, they're
Yeah.
just the greatest kids. I really love these kids. So I'm just going to throw in a plug there for Youth Impact. People should go to that.
Oh, for sure. That sounds like nice.
And then if you're a supporter or a sponsor of them, we normally do a VIP portion in our space for them before you go up to the Monarch Royal Room to start fake gambling.
Where the kids serve you.
Where the
That's
kids serve you.
fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Yes, it started with Youth
If
Impact.
Vegas only knew.
If
They
Vegas
could-
only
yeah.
knew. Youth Impact, then we brought on YCC. You taught some classes at YCC for
And
us.
Youth Impact. That was
And
my
Youth
first
Impact,
classes.
some
Yeah.
printmaking classes, which were really great. And then you did like the Arts in the Park class. Those were so wonderful. So the cool part about the Artist Factory is we're paying our local creatives, our local artists, that we're paying them competitive wages. They get paid $40 an hour to participate in this program. And the kids that are getting this quality art education are getting it for free. So we work with Boys and Girls Club, Youth Impact, YCC. We're hoping to get in with, Ogden City schools, like all of them, not just the elementary schools that Boys and Girls Club participate with. And yeah, it's just an awesome program where we get professional artists paid and kids get quality education that they love. And I swear, like, every time I go and observe a class, which doesn't happen often because I have a million other things to do, but sometimes I'm lucky enough to do that when we have a visiting artist in town and we do a special workshop at Youth Impact with that visiting artist, like Holly Wong, like who we're showing right now. She came in from San Francisco and she was so excited about the Artist Factory program that she did a workshop both at Youth Impact and YCC.
Oh
and
my gosh.
At YCC, she did it with, like the women and the caseworkers and the children. So it wasn't just for kids. And it's just, I go observe these classes, and it just makes all the stress and staying up super late at night thinking about how I'm going to fundraise and pay rent and all these things. It makes it all worth it. It warms my heart. And
What are some of the classes that have been taught through the years?
oh gosh,
Because it is quite the range.
there's art and activism and videography and photography and printmaking and organic artist and sculpture. So kids have been making molds and like with all their hands and vegetables and all these things. Installation art. They just did like a land art class and bookmaking. I mean, there's so many abstract painting. I mean, like we're hitting everything. Poetry, creative writing.
How often during the year are you able to do this?
So during the school year, it's all school year with Boys and Girls Club. And with Youth Impact, it's all year long. So through the school year as well as the summer. And YCC, right now, it's just the summer.
Are any of these, is this a program that a school could adopt full time or something? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'd be happy to facilitate it.
And the artists do as well.
Yeah.
In fact, I have referred probably 3 or 4 artists. Artists are always looking for extra money, like they scrapping together, hustling. And so I'm like, I need you to call Oka, get yourself on this list.
Yep.
Right? These are artists that I've worked with. I kind of know what they do, and that they like working with kids, that type of thing. And so I love that it is now kind of part of a conversation.
Oh yeah, we're constantly looking for new artists. So if someone's interested, reach out to us and we'll take a look. And you have to go through a background check and all that stuff because at the end of the day, it's about safety for these kids.
Just so you know, I went through a background check, Brandon, and
Wait, you passed?
He
Yeah.
passed. Can you believe it?
yeah, because I know you've always wondered.
I was curious.
It's a little
about
more
you.
informal with
Yeah,
Brandon. So.
there's some things I don't know about you. There's some gaps, and I just didn't know what were in those gaps. So
Oh, there's some big gaps. Yeah. But it means that only one of the two of us has had a background check, is what I'm saying.
Well, I will say I got a financial license. I didn't tell you that. Did I tell you that story? The day I went in to get fingerprinted and they threw me in jail. I thought I was going to be in there over the weekend. That was
pretty
was
cool.
fun. Yeah.
That's a different story. Different show.
Different show. Yeah. I had a warrant out because of a speeding ticket that I paid in South Jordan. And then I went in to get my fingerprints done for a financial license. It was your insurance and financial licenses. And then they had me turn around. I worked at Target and I had my Target outfit on. I was on lunch and all these professionals
Good marketing for Target.
were in line. Yeah, they had me turn around, cuff me, put me in jail. And then they came and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then it's a Friday. And so the guy comes in and is like, if you'll see the judge on Monday, you won't have to stay here over the weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I signed the paper and I went in to see the judge on Monday. And you go talk to the secretary. I'm like, I'm here. I have a warrant. I have to see the judge. And she goes, oh yeah, that's our mistake. You paid it.
Oh no.
Can I get my embarrassment back? Can I get my time that I was thrown in jail for the afternoon for like an hour or two, whatever, while they did before? Like none. Yeah. Totally, it was their mistake. No. I'd paid it. I didn't actually. But they issued anyway. So
that's the origin story. That's how Brandon became a lawless vigilante.
So I have there's tattoos that I can't show you. That it's how long I was in there and that kind of stuff.
You were cuffed.
Where's the location of these tattoos?
That's a different show.
It's a different show. You got it again. So we have a membership tier coming up that we. Tease, but we are actually never seriously going to do. But if you pay extra, that's when you learn about where
Banyan after hours.
Banyan after hours.
And if you pay extra, you get a picture of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems fair.
DM'd to you.
DM'd directly to you.
See, that's why you're so good at what you do. I would have just stopped it 2 steps behind and you just kept taking it.
I'll take it there. I will take it
Look,
there.
she's better at her job than she thinks she is. She's stressed out about this, but the good ideas are coming. So.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who has spoken with you through the years from the very beginning, in fact, I remember when you got first hired and we chatted almost immediately. From then to now, the level of confidence exudes out of you.
Oh, thanks.
It's a different kind of stress and, all the complications of knowing what you do. I think ignorance is bliss sometimes. And so when you're
Yeah.
coming in, it's like, it's so exciting. But then I think the more you know you need to know. And I think that you filled in so many of those gaps. But it's been fun following your whole course.
That's a good. So then, it's been long enough. It's 2023 now. So we're 3 years,
in.
So what's your advice to someone who's taking over an executive director spot?
And these happen.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a great question. Why is my kid crying?
But he was on the stairs, but
you are.
out
He's
of the
fine.
corner. Yeah.
He's fake. That's his fake
Fake
cry.
cry.
My advice to someone taking over as an executive director: don't sweat the small stuff, and just remember, you're always going to learn. Every single day, you're going to continue to learn. Don't expect to know everything. If you don't know something, speak up. Like, I am not afraid to tell you that I don't know an answer to something, or
So-
I don't know an artist's name, or I don't know this person or that person.
Well, you're talking about humility there, and so which is hard because you have this position of power or whatever. It's a position of prestige, let's say, in the community or something, and so. You may, taking over, you might want to pretend like you know everything. And what you're saying is that's probably a bad idea.
That's a horrible idea.
Okay.
Like, just no egos allowed. Don't come in with an ego.
You could still be
ask
confident,
questions.
Confident?
You be confident and not have an ego.
but humble. And so that's this fine line that I tried to walk. And I think that,
You're horrible at no, I'm kidding.
but it gets you deeper and deeper and deeper into these positions
Yeah.
of decision making, let's just call it. And somewhere along the way, I've also kind of managed to do that in Ogden and now in Salt Lake. And so but I'll be the first one to admit, what I can't do.
Yes.
But I think it's the way that I still carry myself and the ability to find out how to do it is never, it doesn't
Yeah.
slow me down.
And you can't be don't be afraid to have conversations with, I don't know, when I first came on, I was pretty intimidated by talking to people with money and asking for money. And I still really dislike asking for money, but I do it anyhow. But it's easier now to have these conversations with, these high up executives at organizations and companies. It gets easier.
And the more you meet,
and
the
they're
more
just
you do it.
people.
They're just people. Yeah.
Are just people, if just be a nice person and you'll be okay.
I like that. Okay, so what sort of goal do you have for? Are you calendar year or fiscal year? What's your
Calendar year.
So,
Calendar year.
so you go January through
Yeah.
a full year. Okay, and so you have all of 2024 thought out, booked out. Are there any holes in there?
Not anymore, but I can't talk about that last portion yet because
Fair.
it's not official.
Which you do. You have to lock all those down. That's
And I've had it
complicated.
I've had placeholders in my schedule and everything. And into 2025 I'm working on now for sure.
Now, do you have a formal, what do you want to call it? Sort of mission to support incoming artists and local artists? Do you try to keep a balance? Is there a
Dude.
percentage you try to keep at?
Yeah, I do try to keep a balance.
I have a snack from the snack closet.
I don't have a snack closet.
Wow. I wish we should have a
Do
snack
you guys not have a
closet.
snack closet?
We have a snack closet. Open
We
this
actually do.
Open that
fridge
door.
right here.
Open that fridge. See
I'm
what's
so
in
glad
there.
that people can't see. Because he's going to immediately see the bottles first. That's not what we're talking about.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
Is there,
snack
do you see
closet.
anything?
Do you see those red vines? Oh, I see peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. Get those M&Ms out.
Get those M&Ms out. That yellow bag, your
fantastic.
favorite color.
That's our green room snacks for our musicians.
That's
These
awesome.
are reserved for rock stars.
Those,
You're-
yep, the last
Milo-
person to use those are rock stars.
Milo is definitely a rock star.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, a lot of our just have a few. That's all you get. Hold on. Here, take those two. Now, you have to be quiet for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Deal.
And we're doing great. We're cruising right along.
Yeah, you've been good.
So our, I try to be pretty direct. for our local artists, obviously our support is huge when it comes to our Artist Factory program. We're pumping a lot of money into our local artist economy. When we can, we like to show local artists along with one of our visiting artists, like we're doing right now with Stephanie Leach. We want to stay true to our mission and continue to bring in those globally recognized artists, but they're coming here to engage with our whole community, and that includes our local artists. So these artists coming in, they're also going to do lectures at Weber State. It's part of our agreement with Weber State. We have a work-study agreement, which is really nice.
Oh, that's great.
So we get a work-study person to come and work on weekends, and in exchange, we do lectures.
Through what department? Like, what's that arrangement?
Shaw Gallery.
Through Shaw? I didn't know that. That was since I left, I guess.
It's pretty new. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Started this summer. Yeah.
We'll
So we got a great partnership there. But yeah, I mean, it's important to make sure we're giving back to our local artists as well, and we're expanding their networks. There's also, we hire all of our like documentation teams, so videography, photography, copywriting, curating. Like we want to hire those out. I do curate at times. I don't want to curate. I much rather people come to me with ideas for big shows, and I get to give them the budget to make those big shows happen.
That's
awesome. Really what I prefer to do. I don't have time to curate. So 100%, we are prioritizing our local creatives.
I love that. Okay, one last question as far as community engagement goes. And so I am assuming, and I'm sure I'm assuming correctly on this, that you are always hearing feedback from the community, right?
I wish I was getting more feedback.
Okay, and so this is also a plea out there to our listeners to remember to do that.
Yeah.
And we're not talking to just, Oka, but this applies to even what we do. Like, we want this feedback because we shape what we do, of course, a little bit to what we like, but it's not just about that.
Yeah, so the block party is going to be a great opportunity to come give us feedback and have a good time, because we will have surveys available. You take a survey, you get entered to win something, maybe a membership. I don't know what it's going to be yet. And, that's another goal of, yes, it's a fundraising event. Yes, it's a block party. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we also want to hear what our community wants out of us, and we want to know how we're doing and if we're living up to expectations and what we can do better.
I want more of our listeners, if you haven't already, go check out Oka. What are your hours?
So
what are your gallery hours?
Breaking the headphones.
They're just broken. They're broken. Wednesday, it's fine. They're cheap headphones. I'll get you a new pair. Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and Sundays, 11 to 4. I feel it's very important to be open on Sundays. Business owners, if you're listening to me, be open on a Sunday. That's
I only
my
get 2
weekend.
days off a week, and that's one of
That's one of my days. I would spend
Sunday.
so much money on Sundays. I promise you.
I appreciate you being open on Sunday.
Yeah, so we are open on Sundays. Shorter hours, but we are open.
And then what can we do? What do we need to know about getting ready for the block party? So that's the next big event that we have to look forward to.
If you're a business and you're listening, be a sponsor. If not, just make sure you come and have a good time, show up, listen to some music, make some art, eat some food, and just have a good time. September 9th from 12 to 6.
Sounds good. Anything else, Brandon?
Did you have any arts news?
I was going to just mention, so down at the Finch Lane Gallery in Salt Lake, where I work, I do have a brand new opening on Friday night. And so as a quick reminder, Salt Lake City's gallery stroll is on every third Friday. So Ogden's every first Friday. And so ours is this coming Friday from 6 o'clock
So we
to 9
coordinated that, see? So
Isn't that nice? And so here's 2 announcements. So the first announcement is that Finch Lane Gallery's brand new hours for us. So we're Monday through Friday now. We were just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we're Monday through Friday from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and Tuesday nights until 8:30. So tonight, for instance, we're open until 8:30. And so,
but you're not there.
Yeah, I have a gallery assistant. So it makes sense.
There we go.
So I don't have to be everywhere. And so the artists you have to look forward to, in fact, they're up. You can check them out this week, but the opening is Friday, is 2 quilt artists. I want to get their names right. That's why.
I I heard Tupac, but
So Cheryl Gilliland and Roxanne Bartel have been making quilts for over 25 years. These
wow.
quilts are unreal. If you aren't into, let's just say textiles in general are hot. And I
Textiles
love
are hot
them
right
to
now?
death. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
there's
them
a
to
show
death.
at Material, the new gallery.
Yeah,
that
they're
they've
rad
got
too.
some
That's
great-
And so I love them to death. I'm going to try to get like 2 years from now, like a rug artist. Like I love rugs and things. And then, so that's in our East
I
Gallery.
didn't know that. Okay, cool.
I love rugs. I love rugs. Yeah. And then in the West Gallery is Pablo Cruz Ayala. He was a current artist in residence at the Leonardo. I think he served 1 month, and then he has another month coming up here in a couple months. But some amazing painting pieces. And so be there at some point between 6 and 9. That's 54 Finch Lane, Salt Lake City. It's about 1st and 13th or 14th. It's just below the university, so you can't miss it. It's we're at Reservoir Park. All right, that's my announcement.
Okay, that was fantastic. I don't have any adventure news other than I did see another Yellowstone Tauron is what they call them. The morons that are tourists. So Taurons
Oh, I
who
didn't know
took
that
his
phrase.
shirt off and chased a black
Oh, my
wolf down the
God.
trail,
Oh.
yelling because that's what you do when you are a Tauron in Yellowstone.
What'd the wolf do?
Please don't do that. Stared at him and then trotted off.
Yeah.
Lucky
The dude
guy.
got lucky.
Yeah.
Probably because they're like, dude, you're not worth my time. And we know what happens if I even come anywhere near you.
Well, what I was hoping is that he was like, I'm going to go get my buddies. I'll be back in a second. You stay right there. Hang tight, pal. I'll be right back.
Keep that shirt off. Keep that shirt off, bro.
Keep that shirt off, bro.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I got. Yeah, so it is. God, I follow this thing, Yellowstone Taurons of Yellowstone on Instagram, and it's
I never heard that phrase. I'm so
Yeah,
glad you
it's-
shared that.
I don't.
Taurons of Yellowstone.
It's
Yeah.
great and depressing at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, God.
Well, it used to be one of my favorite sites, and I don't even know if they still have it, is essentially Walmart people. People of Walmart, I
Oh,
think is
yeah.
but it was mostly like late night people of Walmart, And so
Yeah.
it's kind of the same. We all have to sometimes go to Walmart super, late or sometimes if it's open to
and we don't need
hours,
pants. We just go. So
Oh, the things that I have just personally seen. But then you go to these websites and you're like, they need to somehow partner with the Taurons. of
Taurons of
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
The future is safe.
Yeah.
The future is safe between
I
all
don't
these
know
people.
about that. Thanks to Band Union One for powering today's episode of Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. Listen and subscribe to the Ogden Arts Adventure Show on YouTube. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, thebandingcollective.com, and the Podbean app for Android and iPhones. If you want to be on the show, DM us at Ogden Adventure on Instagram. Venessa spelled VE. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it.
Look at you.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you for
so
that.
good.
Yeah. Go check out all the things for Ogden Contemporary Arts. Become a member. That is an extraordinarily reasonable rate for an annual rate. And then you can be one of the cool kids in town in the arts and hang out with Ogden Contemporary Arts. We're often there too. Todd's there. at
Milo's
least.
always there.
Yeah, Milo's there.
Milo's always
Milo.
there.
Who's now famous now.
Famous now.
There are the
He wants to wrap the show as well.
I think so.
Starts the
yeah.
show, wants to finish the show.
We'll take you out with this is one of the greatest. I just love the name of this song. I like the song, but the name of the song is even better. So from Marny Proudfit. This is from Van Sessions, recorded at Van Sessions. My money is trying to kill me.
Oh, I like that.
If you haven't heard the lyrics, it's fantastic. We'll catch you on the next Ogden Arts and Adventure Show.
We did it.
My money's trying to kill me. Don't know if it's the worst thing. A couple $100 got me feeling like a baller. My ideas take longer than my motivation. With every doubt comes a lack of inspiration. I would rather just stop than prove to everybody failure is a good thing hasn't met me. No, they haven't. First to cash my paycheck. Small bills make a big step. Paydays call for lattes. Don't want no drip coffee. My ideas take longer than my motivation. With every doubt comes a lack of inspiration. I would rather just stop than prove to everybody whoever said that failure is a good thing hasn't met me. No, they haven't. I'm not sure how to get what I want. All the cash that I've got burns a hole till it's gone. But I feel rich when I wear the new sweatsuit I just bought. You can bury me in these, don't need a funeral plot. My money's trying to kill me. That's that one. If you haven't noticed, I don't know how to end songs, so they just kind of stop. Cool. All right, I have one more.